Hey, man.
How you doing?
Yeah, can you hear me, dude?
Yeah, we can hear you. We can see you. Yeah. All good, Jeremy. Thanks.
Safe, man. Wicked.
Thanks for coming on. Welcome to Facing the Crowd.
Fuck yeah, Facing the Crowd, man.
It's great to have you on.
This is Hobo. I'm Perk. Sometimes we forget to even say that to people.
We do, yeah, more often than not. But then we're not important.
You're more important than us. Without you guys, we can't do this.
How you doing, man? You good?
Yeah, not bad, man. Not bad. You know, it's been a pretty busy time. At the same time for us, we've had quite a few things going on.
Cool.
So yeah,
fresh from download. I see.
Yeah. Still buzzing.
Yeah, that looked killer.
What was that like?
It was insane. It was absolutely insane.
Was that? Would you headlining like? Was that the Thursday night? There was a takeover thing. What was it?
It used to be the Thursday night, the takeover, but now because the festival almost has got bigger to some degree, and they're extending it to 4 days, so they pushed it. They've added another day. So now we played on the Wednesday, and it was open air. It was open air.
Yeah, I saw that.
So there was about 98% capacity full. For us, it was absolutely insanity.
Yeah,
mate. It was mental. We got a few big walls of death, and we got everybody sitting down, and then the jumping shit, and it was constantly just mosh pit just throughout the whole set. It was just insane. Like the reception that we had was just like, whoa. Well, we couldn't believe it really. We couldn't really comprehend it. Like we were like, fuck it, this is insane, man. And people coming with the t-shirts and all that, and we were seeing it, and it was amazing, man. It's almost like a little dream that you always wanted to achieve with a band, and then you want to see something successful come through. I mean, not that we've done loads of other stuff, but I think Download was a nice highlight. It was it's like you've been grafting the band. We're not that old, but we've still been hitting it very hard, and seeing something like Download, for the people to vote for us and us being the headliners, and seeing such a great lineup as well, and for the whole night and day and all that to go so successful, it was absolutely blinding. It was so good.
It's hallowed turf, right? I mean, Donington, man. I mean, it doesn't get much more metal than that, right?
Exactly, man. You know what I mean? It was insane. I mean, yeah, we've had loads of pictures of people with their faces completely, but like scraped off their faces from smashing themselves from ground surfing into the ground.
Wow.
We've had all sorts, man. Like,
You got everybody when they were fresh, mate. First night, like, all like,
yeah, exactly. We
totally
got them
beard up.
Yeah. And by the time we went on, everybody was a bit, like we went on at 9:30 or something like that. So by then, it was like, whoa, it was like, fucking hell, this is rocking.
Yeah, no, well pleased for you guys.
Yeah, it's amazing. What an achievement.
Yeah.
Let's hope you play next year. I'm planning on going next year, so let's hope you play next year.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we'll the next thing will be trying to get into the actual, main section of the festival. Will be great. I mean, the woman that put the takeover, she said she was very impressed, and she's hardly seen headliners like that, rocking that hard, and the people's reaction, and hopefully she will will pass us on, and maybe we can play the festival at a later stage. We'll aim for that. One day we will get it.
Amazing. So did you get to stay for the whole weekend or anything like that? Did you get like tickets and hang around?
I stayed for the night, and then the next day I came back. I just had a really important meeting to come back. I'm getting old now, so I had to come back all the way to London. Like really, I didn't want to come. I was just driving like shit. Fuck this, man. Like I don't want to, but I had to. It was one of those things that benefits my career, and I had to do it. If not, I would have completely fucked my career up completely from it. So I had to do it. The good thing was that I managed to do Download, and I managed to play it. I went up later and did some press and stuff on the Saturday again, but and partied a bit and all that, and then came back like pure depressed, like, oh god, that was so good. That was
mate, the post gig come down. It's always the worst.
In and out, in and out. Yeah,
exactly.
So you guys have played Bloodstock as well, haven't you? You did Bloodstock. Was that last year?
We did it 2 years ago on the Sophie.
2 years ago.
Yeah, the Sophie stage. Yeah, it was fucking blinding. I mean, Bloodstock is, you know, a festival that is close to my heart, and you know, I consider them as family, and you know, we've always supported them with my other older bands and stuff, and from Ted Mole days, you know, we used to play there, and
what year did you play there with Ted Mole? That rings a bell.
With Ted Mole, with Ted Mole, we played there. I think we did the very first Bloodstock, or not the first one, the second one or the third one. I think we did with the Berserker. We were main support to the Berserker at the time.
My band played in 2003. I wonder if that was the same year you played, because the name rings a bell.
I think it was that something like that. It was pretty early. It was completely different. It was like a big tent. It was almost like a tent.
Right. Oh no,
white.
When we played, it was in the Derby Assembly Rooms.
Oh shit!
Yeah, 2003. I think it was the first. I think it was the second or third one. It was
before
it was out. It was before it was outdoor.
Yeah,
Paradise Lost played and Nightwish played, and that's Saxon played. That's all I remember, really.
Yeah, I don't think we did the first. Definitely not the first one, but I think it could have been the third one, or even the fourth one at most.
Yeah.
But yeah, Bloodstock is always amazing for us, and you know, the first time when we played the Sophie stage, I was absolutely blinding for us. But this time we're going back. We're going back to the main stage. So we're opening the Friday with the main stage. So
sweet.
That's going to be awesome for you guys.
It should be it should be dope, man. We're really looking forward to trying to adjust the set, make it a bit more painful, more shocking,
painful,
and take it to the next level. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you guys going?
No, I've never done Bloodstock. I've done Download and Donington Monsters of Rock so many times. I even had a ticket to go to the one you just played like 2 years ago, didn't we? And then it just rolled over again. And then people was like, I can't do it now. I was like, and then we end up just like dropping all the tickets. There was like 7 of us. We got refunds, and then we didn't bother going. But
yeah.
I might be going. One of my mates reckons he's getting free tickets because he does like campaigns on the internet for different bands, and he just done campaign for Meshuggah. And apparently they've given him like guest passes for Bloodstock. So he was like, do you want to come with me? Because like out of all his mates, I'm like the only one who's really into metal. So I was like,
you get that,
I'll probably come with you.
Well, you should definitely come.
Hey buddy. I like Meshuggah.
Yeah. You should definitely come. Red Method's playing in the main stage, man. Come down. It's gonna be a show.
So I saw you guys because you actually played with Hobo down at Marine Metal, Southend Chinneries. And you played with you headlined and you had 500, and that's when I first ever heard of 500 and Red Method. Saw you guys down there. I've been on the beer all day, and then it was 500 and Red Method in a row. I was absolutely blown away by it.
He don't even mention my.
I even got your 4 to 6 CD at that gig. Got it in there.
Oh shit! Really? Yeah. That's amazing. Thank you so much.
Yeah, loved it.
That's dope, man. Amazing. Oh shit. Good.
I've felt bad ever since because I couldn't watch you play because we had to get all our gear back to this studio.
Yeah.
I was still in there, not in a band, watching the bands.
Yeah.
Good times, like.
And it's if you don't download, can't come down, man. We open in the main stage, but it should be really good. Bloodstock. Sorry, on the Friday, so we're opening the whole thing up. So.
Sweet.
Should be.
You're kind of making me want to be there now.
Yeah, I don't even know who's playing.
Can you get day tickets? I'll just go for the day and just get battered.
Yeah, I'm up for it.
Yeah, could be good, man.
Fun. So what other shows you got coming up? You got loads coming up?
We're playing Manchester Rebellion with Chrysilia, our mates Chrysilia, with them, and then we also play in Uprising Festival, which should be good with Orange Goblin.
Oh, sweet.
Diamond Head the following Saturday. Then after that one, we're doing UK Tech Fest. We also got the main stage for that as well this year.
Everyone, I've never been, but everybody I know says like it's one of the greatest festivals to go to. Like it's just got like such a family vibe, and yet everything's really cool. But it's really cool bands as well, isn't it?
Tech Fest. Yeah, I saw the thing on your Insta about that. Yeah, good lineup.
Absolutely.
Orange Goblin. The one you're playing with Orange Goblin. I saw those at Hard Rock Hell last November. They headlined the last night. Orange Goblin, outstanding. Absolutely, just loved it. Loved it. I love that band. And just the first time I'd seen them. First time I'd seen them, and I was like, "Oh, this is so good."
They've been going on for years.
Oh God, they've been going forever, haven't they?
Yeah. I know Ben, and we used to play with Ted Moore back in the day with them. When Ted Moore came out, they were already out. And fucking that was years ago. 20 years at least. 20 years at least.
Oh yeah.
So. Yeah, and Tech Fest, it's another like family festival. I know Simon very well, the organizer, and he does it very, very. He puts a lot of effort into it, and always wants like a community from it at the same time. And you get a lot of amazing bands there, bands that people don't really hear that are just unbelievable, just like all these twiggly little, technical things that you're like, what the fuck going on here, But I mean, some people have heard it, some people haven't. But the quality of the bands are amazing. It's a good vibe it's a good vibe. So the festival has a good, when you walk into a festival, you can feel the vibe and all that. And it's another one that has a great vibe. I'm really looking forward to that one as well.
Yeah. So you guys are working on new material, is that right?
Yeah.
How's that going?
That's going. Yeah, it's amazing. We're recording with Scott Atkins, Grindstone Studios. He's done Amon Amarth, Monuments, and Cradle of Filth all the time. It's a big, very well known producer, one of the best in the UK. And I've always stuck with him. And we did my band before Red Method was Metastasis. We recorded with him, and then since then I kind of stick to him. The first album of Red Method was done with him as well. And then we've gone back already with him for the second record. So this we've recorded drums already. We've done bass, but we've had to kind of stop because we paused it just because of all the festivals and all the gigs that it was impossible working and fucking going up and recording. The album is a big album as well. It's gonna have about 14 tracks on it. So it's not like 8 songs or 7 songs. It's quite a big, and the songs are big songs as well.
Yeah.
So it's taking a bit more time. We've kind of modified everything. It's more it's heavier, it's faster, it's more melodic, it's darker, it's more emotional. It's more of everything really. It's what Red Method really is going to represent is this new record, and we're making damn sure that it's going to hit all these kind of center points, I guess, to get everybody in the right moment. I think when it comes out, it should hopefully, be. I think I'm hoping people will like it.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Well, the last album's fantastic, so it's all good, mate. Yeah.
We had the reworks one on when we were driving over again. The rework.
Oh, really?
Yeah. What was the inspiration for that?
Totally different vibe.
So cool. What was the inspiration behind that?
Well, because when Red Method came out, it was really a lot of the songs I had at the beginning from my prior band, Metastasis, it was very industrial electronic based. So when we started Red Method, obviously, that kind of style almost continued to some degree. I love electronic music. I like dark electronic music. 9 Inch Nails, Ministry, Marilyn Manson, Antichrist Superstar, that kind of stuff, and that really twisted, kind of warped kind of sounds. FX Twin, and so Prodigy, and so we, as writing the songs, I added a lot of keyboards, and atmospheric and darker industrial kind of metallic a lot of twisted sounds in it. And then once we finished them with the record, I wrote, there were so many stems that were written that at the time our old keyboard player Alex from the Defiled, he I gave him all the stems, and he was like, "Oh, I could do a reworks from this. There's so much stuff already, that you've done already for it." And almost, he started working on it and doing a few things, and we started to compile ideas together. And we said, let's do something a bit different, like like White Zombie did, where they used to they released an album where it was metal, and then Sex or Sister was all kind of techno and weird shit. And and then we thought, well, why not? We're in that kind of industrial kind of metal genre. Why not we do something a bit out there instead of just going again to another metal album? You know what I mean? And yeah, we've got surprises. I think in the future there'll be a lot of different things that we want to put. We don't want to stick with just one style of music. Not that the main songs are going to be very heavy and all that, but we want to also experiment different avenues. We don't want to stick to one thing. Maybe one day I'll do something acoustic, along the lines of Alice in Chains by Red Method, probably. Maybe I started it already, God knows, but it's I think it's good to. I like bands when they diverse and they change, and they're developing.
Oh, totally.
If not, it becomes, and no matter how good the band is, like Meshuggah, for me, they're the kings, right? But I still miss something from that band, which is, if they did something slightly different, but maybe it wouldn't work with Meshuggah, So I don't know, but I guess we're a bit more alternative in terms of that we have a bit more diversity in terms of the style of we can fluctuate through different kind of styles a lot.
Yeah,
and we can
I mean, I think the rework album did work.
Yeah.
I mean, it was great because you listen to it. It's totally different music at points, and then you hear like solid hints of the original tracks in it, and it's like sort of makes you smile, doesn't it? It makes you smile, like, oh, that's the little passage from that song, and then you just I think it was great.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah, it's like the Deftones thing with with White Pony, and they did that Black Stallion disc, which was like
absolutely
remix, completely different. Nothing sounded like it was great. Anyway, I think it's great when bands really sort of like sort of think outside the box and do things like that.
White Zombie wasn't that Super Swinging Sounds? That was one of them, wasn't it?
I remember
Sorry,
it's Super Sexy Swinging Sounds instead of
all those, because we obviously like the same stuff from the same era back in the day. I love Nine Inch Nails, Ministry, and all that, and Nine Inch Nails remix and like Broken and Fix, the EPs.
Yeah,
they're just outstanding, aren't they?
Oh, amazing stuff.
It. Yeah, and Fix, it just goes mental, doesn't it? It's just like 9 Inch Nails, and then it just goes fucking mental. Mental versions of it, yeah.
Totally. And I'm a very 90s, metal person. Really, I'm more about the 90s, really, and to a certain degree, I think you can hear it in Red Method. That kind of, more that big groove or those kind of really twisted, dark times where music was, I believe, at its best, really, in getting the purity of people's really emotion twisted minds. It really pushed across. I think a lot of the music these days, and I'm not saying anything, I think today you've got amazing music as well, but it almost gets washed a lot and it's a bit oversaturated. Everything sounds very similar. And everybody either does, they're really or technical with a bit of nasal nose, cleans, or they do then a very heavy with ultra blast beats, and it needs I want to hear that kind of the whole spectrum,
the groove, man, that kind of groove metal thing,
the groove, and then really heavy bits, and I mean, not to mention, but Slipknot did it really well, on the first two records, for those are masterpieces for us. But I guess Deftones are first albums as well. But yeah, it's about, I guess, changing. We will always keep it really, really dark, whatever we do, as dark as we can, and see if we can improve ourselves each time. If we can.
That's what it's about, right?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you write music for yourself as a musician and as a band, so you always want to push yourself, don't you? So
absolutely. If not, you get a bit bored as well. If you just stay with the same thing, I used to be, I still am the biggest fan of the heaviest death metal, like Origin, Hate Eternal. That is my Dayside, I did some vocals for Dayside once before. I covered Glenn Benton. That was my life. That was death metal, Morbid Angel, Hate Eternal, Origin, Cephalic Carnage. We've toured with them. Those were like kind of like the heaviest shit ever. And we used to play all the time. My other band, Ted Mo, we were just pure death metal, and but you get, when it's maybe it's just me, but I get a bit bored of it. I need something like a mix of genres and stuff to make it a bit more, sexual.
Oh, totally. Like we've mentioned Meshuggah a few times. I mean, I love them, but I couldn't listen to them for like 3 hours.
Exactly.
It would kill me. I need some melody in there and stuff as well. Sometimes.
So totally, yeah. They're the best band, and live they're just insane. They're for me one of the best bands, and riff and song wise and riff wise. But yeah, you know what I mean. It becomes a bit monotonous when it's constantly playing all the time. I think in the the human soul needs a bit of emotion and soul to it. You know what I mean? And put it across. Raw emotion is important to get across through the music, man. And that's something that we try. I'm trying very hard to get it all out in this record. Is just put every last drop of raw emotion in it. Very raw stuff. Something that I miss from the 90s, from that kind of 90s kind of music. With obviously in the day that we live in, and knowing all the factors and tricks and sounds that we have today to make things sound better, but keep that kind of raw emotion, real takes and stuff like that.
So, totally. Yeah, I think a lot of people rely on too much studio magic these days,
Yeah.
I think sometimes it's nice just to plug a Les Paul into an amp and see what happens,
Exactly. And that's why, you almost fall always, fans keep on falling in this category, I guess, and it's a bit oversaturated with sounds, and almost everything sounds very similar to each other. Before, I don't know, but I don't know, maybe it's just me because that was my era, but when you used to hear bands in the 90s, they used to be so distinctive one to each other. Like the System of a Down came out, it was just like, what the fuck is this? Like, it's so different, Korn and, they had similarities, but you could tell what band was what back in the day,
Yeah, totally. And like
very
now,
originality.
Like, some of the whole sort of, like you say, the whole metalcore scene now, there's like 6 million bands that sound identical. I think it's very hard now for a band to sort of step out and be different and to sound different from everything else.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. The thing is that technology has made us lazier to some degree, and has made everything sound better also.
Yeah,
and I guess it's a fine balance of having the both of them, but yeah, it's hard. It's harder these days, I guess, to identify originality in music. I guess.
Yeah, totally.
How often do you get into writing your lyrics, Jeremy? Is it like a constant thing, constant thoughts of pissed off about this, pissed off about that, or thinking about this situation or that situation? Are you always writing lyrics? Are you?
Yeah.
Is it an everyday thing?
No, not always. No, definitely not. I write the music of Red Method, so I write the riffs, and I write the songs. With the first record, I did pretty much most of it. The second record, also with Quinton as well, with Quinton, the guitarist, he's done it a lot, and then we've all kind of chipped in from different areas, doing other bits. But I almost write the music first, and once I do the music first, and as I'm doing the music, yes, of course, melodies are popping into my head, and I do notes, I do rough notes of it, and just leave it there. But almost until I don't have a big bulk of songs, then I don't obviously. To do lyrics, I need to take myself down to hell, like so deep down. It's almost like peeling an onion, and I need to peel the first layer. And then that's not good enough. I got to peel the other one. And it might be I've drunk a whole bottle of vodka and whiskey, and I've destroyed everything in my inner bodies already. And I'm trying to peel deeper to get down there. And I finally get there, and I might just take a week or two off just in hell, literally in hell. oh, this was about, my God, it's insanity. and then come out from it and be depressed for like nearly a month. Oh my God, I can't go there that deep again.
Wow.
But then I've got something, it happened to me only recently with the new record. I started writing lyrics, and I had to go deeper and deeper and deeper. And yeah, I did all sorts of things to get to down there. But and then it took me a long time to get out of that hellhole, basically. But I had to go there to be able to really, really take myself and get through that, to go to that deepness of negativity and positivity. It was almost like my therapies. But
wow. Where'd you get a lot of your inspiration from?
At the same time, I do write notes, like you said. I do maybe some phrases come into my head, and I do write in my phone, or I send myself a voice note. You know what I mean, like saying whatever, and then I revisit these kind of things. Yeah, I mean, a lot of it. I mean, For the Sick is almost like a catalogue of human events that have, almost created trauma in my life, and things that I was really close that are no longer there, like my, people that I loved, and seeing, family members going through, dementia, and putting myself in there and really, living that. We had songs about suicide, a friend of mine that committed suicide. So it's very, I guess, hard, personal. It's similar as well. There's a lot of personal things, but there's also, we're talking a bit more, I guess, of society in general, in terms of the war that happened, there's some topics of that. I cannot say everything yet, but there's also some topics of, how the media and technology has actually separated us as humans, and we're almost progressing into something that we're still developing into, that we don't know, we're lacking of human contact, and all this is, how things are affecting. So I guess we're tackling a few different things among in general in society as well.
Well, there's a lot of material in there. There's something to piss you off every single day you wake up, isn't there? these days, you know what I mean? If you look on that social media, the news or whatever, any Twitter, whatever thing, you're just like, oh,
totally.
God, for fuck's sake. You know what I mean? You almost don't want to look, because you just want to get on with your day sometimes without in blissful ignorance.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're right.
The kids the other day in fucking Texas.
Yeah, horrific.
Yeah.
The war, for God's sake, the war.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get on to something happier. We don't want to take you down there again.
We're taking him down. We're getting these lyrics. He wants to get these fucking lyrics out, man. Take him down. Take him down.
Take me down.
So we'll bring a pizza around for you in a couple of days. Domino's or something.
And I'll take you down to hell with me one day. Trust me, boys.
Oh, mate. We'd love it. We'd love it.
So a question we always ask is, what was the first gig you ever went to? Like proper, like big band kind of thing,
Probably it was back home. I mean, it's back home. It's Gibraltar, right? It's only 3 miles by 3 miles, as you may be aware. Andy and these lot are from Gibraltar as well, from the 500.
Yeah.
So we used to play when we were kids, like we were like 18, 17, and we used to play like in whatever pubs there were, whatever, festivals there were, tiny festivals, weren't even metal festivals. But to get, you didn't get bands coming in. The only metal bands was us there. We were the metal bands, like we were the Panteras, the Metallicas, probably in Gibraltar. It was a tiny place. But then obviously bands used to come to the south of Spain. And I think the first one the first one I saw was Deep Purple, right? And I was about, I was young. I was about 10 or 9 or something like that. And I remember thinking, oh man, that sounds cool. The electric guitars and the distortion. And I was trying to find out what the distortion, I remember what distortion was. Why did the guitar sound like that? Because my uncle played acoustic guitar and there were flamenco players.
Oh, really?
And I always thought, why does it, I couldn't work out the difference, but nobody explained it to me at the time. I was listening to tapes and my dad put me, but my dad wasn't, musically kind of, he didn't explain things to me. Okay, this is because of this. He didn't know either. But then when I went to the show that my uncle took me, I was like, wow, the guitar, you know. From there, it really hooked me up. It hooked me the distortion of the guitars and how amazing it sounded. Then from there, I came back and I said I wanted to hear them on tape or something like that. And then I remember I was a little kid, and then I went to the music shop, in the only music shop in Gibraltar, which was, I think at the time was called VJ or something like that. I went in, I said, I want something like Deep Purple that have guitars like that, like crum, crum. And then they gave me Iron Maiden, and then I went from Iron Maiden. I just looked at something, and I went straight to Slayer, and I went straight to Venom, and just heavy and heavy and heavier. And then I think the second one was probably, I think it was around 18, 19. No, I was younger, probably 14, 15, Korn and stuff, and Soulfly when they passed through Granada, which is a bit more down in Spain. But it was more when
I saw Korn and Soulfly, yeah.
Sorry?
Awesome. You saw Korn and Soulfly in Spain, yeah?
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. You get them. You put, when they do a tour, you get them through the south as well. But it's not regular. It is hit and miss, and sometimes it never happened for months or for years. And then because the band, Korn was even new themselves, I think it took them a few years for them to come in. And I was really into at the time. The new metal, but really heavy new metal, really not the kind of weak, I really like the really heavy stuff, like when Korn, the first album of Korn, or the first album of Slipknot, and then I went straight into death metal and stuff like that. It was a weird one having the first gigs because of this, where I was situated. But then I moved. I was quite young. I moved when I was 19. I left Gibraltar, came to London. I studied, and then I did a band, which was Ted Moll. And then immediately I was every week, seeing bands in Camden Town. I lived close to Camden. I do live actually very close to Camden Town now, a few miles only. And I was going to see bands every single week. I saw everything there. I do pretty much every thrash metal, grindcore band that probably exists.
Nice, yeah. I was up in Camden the other day, actually, in the Black Heart.
It was wicked.
On a Monday night. My friend's band, my friend's cousin, Black Orchid Empire, played there.
Oh, Black.
So we went to see them. It's my mate's cousin's a singer. Yeah, it was good. It's a good gig.
Gee, I've heard that name. I've heard the name before of Black Orchid Empire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're really good musicians. They're not terribly heavy, but it's a really good, really good band,
I think we've played with them.
Yeah.
I think we've played definitely with them. Yeah, man. I can't remember, like when Red Method came out, I can't remember where it was. But definitely, we definitely played with them.
Nice. What about the first time you sort of got up and performed? What sort of age were you, and what band was that in?
I was young. I was very young as well. I did a band in school, and I named it Better of Dead. It was like, it was brutal. It was nothing as heavy as that in Gibraltar ever. It was like it was grindcore. It was very grindcore, very death metal grindcore. The first time we performed them, I probably was in school, maybe like 12 or 13 or something like that.
Oh,
something
really?
like that. But then
quite young then.
Yeah, and then we started doing, other shows. We started doing, I think it took until I was 15 to start getting like something a bit more solid in Gibraltar with, better musicians that could play actually metal and not just, hit their instruments. And then, but it wasn't, same name of the band, I think, Better of Dead. And then I did other bands with other people in Gibraltar. I filled in for some guitar, and I knew I was always going to leave Gibraltar. I never took it serious because I knew what I wanted was to do metal one day and do something, and go out. And even if I'm not, I don't give a shit if, I'm not here to become famous, or I'm just here for music to be my therapy. And if people enjoy it through the journey, amazing, and if I play big shows, amazing. And that's the whole point. I do this for nothing more, you know what I mean? And but I always knew that I always wanted to to go out and experience life outside, you know what I mean, and do something more for myself than just play. Because once you know, I didn't leave till I was not 18, 19. But by the time I was, I started playing when I was 13. By the time I was 18, I was bored to death in Gibraltar, just playing the same pubs and the same, festivals.
Yeah, I suppose there's not many places to play, is there? Once you've done it a million times, it's quite a brave thing to just leave your country and come to London, But you obviously, like you say, you knew you had to. You knew you was always going to. It was just about waiting for that time, and then obviously you never looked back, did you?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I came here. I mean, I didn't know no one. I just knew my cousin at the time was Stuart Cavija from Breed 77. The band Breed 77. They were they were at that, at the time they were doing very well.
Yeah.
And they were touring all the time, but I hardly saw him, and I was, I came in, I was like, shit, man, the weather. Oh my God, I can't deal with the weather. At the time I had an ex-girlfriend, I kind of, speaking over the phone with putting 20p and 50p and £1 and like, oh, I miss you. Oh. And it was all kind of all stressful, I mean, I was like, oh my God, it was this, then I was trying to, I joined the university. I couldn't be bothered with the university. I was just doing music, going to Camden Town, checking out all the bands, buying CDs straight one day after the other. And I didn't know no one. Slowly, I started to meet people. And I remember was one time just bored, just not bored, but just like didn't know what to do. I was like, oh, this is a bit crap. I'm here by myself and all that. So I started walking through Oxford Circus, and there's where I met one of my best brothers, Luca Grandi, which is he used to be in Ted Moore with me, and now he does This Is Endless with me as well, which is like a death metal project with the drummer of Onslaught, Perry, and the guys from they used to be in Dead Beyond Buried, with a toured a lot back in the day as well with Immolation and stuff. And he was giving out little demos of Ted Moore. Like, it was the shittest little thing, like just like CDs, like handwritten. It's like, yeah. I said, you look a bit like you like metal. I'm like, yeah, I do. It's like, we're looking for a singer. And I'm like, oh, fucking hell, perfect. I'm like, I can try and do some vocals for you. I didn't know. I listened to it and I was like a bit like, I want something heavier. But then we started to rehearse and we came together. And then he really, really grew on me, and it really, put me to the test, that band, really. I mean, Ted Moore, I think Ted Moore was the first really touring band that I had. We toured with God Forbid, with Dayside, Morbid Angel, like all sorts of, back all the way from 2000 and I think 5 all the way to 2011 or something like that.
It's pretty amazing that touring with some of your favorite bands at the time.
Did you play at the Underworld with God Forbid?
Yeah.
I think that might be why I remember the name.
Yeah, and Decapitated. We were all the time playing with Decapitated, Akako. We were everywhere at the time, man. Everywhere at the time.
Yeah.
We I think Facebook just started, and we didn't even bother. We didn't even bother putting pictures up. We toured and we didn't put a picture up, and nobody knows jack shit about the magazine. People do. They all do. I live with Metal Hammer now, and they're constantly telling me, man, you need to bring back Ted Moore, do this, do that, or let's do a journal, because nobody's done a journal of Ted Moore. You guys never put anything up. Everything that you did was almost like lost. Like nothing never existed. And we were constantly doing stuff. We did Download, we did Bloodstock, we did every festival. We toured a lot, man. So yeah, and then I think Ted Moore was definitely the first band that kind of went rock and roll full heaviness at the time. And Luca was a guitarist of Ted Moore, so I got introduced to him, and then I think after that, the first year when I met Luca, obviously we started to rehearse, and then we were starting to go out more, and I started to meet people, and I started to feel a bit more comfortable, But it took me a year to settle in, like it's very different. The weather, the culture, and it was different to me, and and I was young at the time. I was 18 at the time, so I wasn't that old. But I got used to it, and then I've never left. I'm now 40, and I still haven't left, man.
Did you love London? You're a big fan of London.
I love, yeah. I like. I mean, I'm getting a bit tired of it now. You know, that it's just it's so full on. You know, my life is so chaotic because, you know, I work with children with very complex needs, and they are pretty much the most complex children in North London. They come to me excluded, you know, very bad backgrounds with lives, and family history and neglect, abuse, everything. They come to me, and we almost like try and, you know, almost help them integrate them back into mainstream. So they're very, you know, violent children, aggressive children, all sorts of children, you know, shut down children, you know, they don't talk, they don't, you know, it's very complex children. And I guess my work is very full on, you know, where sometimes I have to restrain, and then almost it reflects on on Red Method as well, because a lot of, I think that in For the Sick, there's a track called Cycle of Violence, which is about London and about the, you know, how families just, you know, stay almost like caught in this kind of cycle of violence, and, you know, it's almost inherited into the next generation. And
I saw the lyric video for that today. I was looking at that.
Oh, yeah, that one,
So the lyric video just explains a lot.
Yeah.
If anyone's listening, have a look at that.
Absolutely,
it's good, mate. Really
and
good.
So basically that took, so it's quite chaotic with my job as what it entails, and then obviously Red Method, as it is, it's pure. It's becoming carnage on the live shows, especially.
Yeah.
And so the only peace I get is when I'm away from London, pretty much, which is rare at the moment. So I am thinking, probably it's because I'm getting older. So I'm thinking of maybe just getting something a bit more, you know, isolated, where I can just not hear any humans for like, you know, a few days, or at least I can go back home and I'm not hearing anything. No traffic, no craziness, no nothing. And even if I come into London to work, I just drive in through, you know, through roads which is a bit calmer and, you know, more kind of countryside and all that, more with the nature, because at the moment it's just insanity. It's been insanity for like 20 years.
You can't get no peace, can you? It's all right for us. We kind of dip in and dip out of London. You were just going up for gigs and then coming back out.
It's perfect. That's perfect, man. That's what I want to do eventually. I think
it's kind of weird because whenever I'm up there, I'm like, this is it is like, just get out of the tube station wherever you go, don't you? And it's just like, bang, it is happening. Like I went to see Phil Campbell and the Bastard Sons. I went to see the other day, and it was just like, that was at the Angel O2 thing. And it was so full on, you know, and I'm just fucking in the Weatherspoons. There's people everywhere, the people outside. It's just, then you're in the gig and you're like, by the end of the night, you're like, get me the fuck away from here.
It's insane.
The next day I wake up, was quiet.
Totally.
Every day for 20 years. Could see it.
Totally, man. I need to get drunk to go into London pretty much each time. I get to get pissed on my brain. And it's not just, you know, the chaos and the magnitude of you know, the sheer amount of volume of humans crossing and this and that and that. It's the violence. You know, it's, you know, I live in roads that people have been shot just outside my house here. You know, they're being shot. The roads are being constantly shut off. You know what I mean? Down the road, knife, you know, stabbings have killed youngsters, and there's always something happening. You know, it's like, you do think of it, you know, like, maybe it's gonna happen to me. How the hell have I got away with this? You know, coming back late at night, pissed with, you know, with mates and doing whatever. How, you know, don't get me wrong. I've been in loads of fights, and I've been mugged, tried to mug off, everything in the middle of the street. But you know, I consider myself lucky still because of what it is, what the reality of London is, and probably I know it a lot because I work with these, you know, with children, you know, with these certain people, we are more aware of the statistics of where the murders or where, you know, a lot of aggression is happening across London, you know, and they actually tell us the statistics of the actual boroughs that are rising or coming down. So it's a lot happening, man. It's too much at times.
Do you have like cases of children that you like completely turn around and you see like such a change in them, but it's like a massive boost for you, like just like with your day job, like something that feels like proper fulfilling, like when
absolutely, you know, it and that's why I do it. That's the whole point why I do what I do, you know. I put myself through that. You know, some people say to me, you know, especially like, you know, observers that come in, outside psychologists and stuff like that, you know, and they're like, I don't know how you can do that, you know, like, you know, do what you've done today. And it really, what holds me most is like, I went through quite, you know, not from my family, from, you know, because my family gave me all the love, way too much, you know, love. They gave me everything I needed when I was being brought up. But I went through shitty times of bullying and, you know, in school where I was, you know, a lot of things happened basically. And because of that, I think it almost, I'm here to try and serve the purpose where I'm trying to help these children, trying to better themselves and get something more out from life, and not just join a gang and then end up in jail or end up, you know, 6 feet, you know,
sure,
underneath. And it you know, out of, if there's 10 that maybe I find it really difficult, if there's only 2 that make it through, well, that is a big change and a big progress. And that is what really gives me that kind of, like you said, a boost to be able to do it again and you know, and continue doing what I'm doing, you know, no matter how bad it gets at times.
Yeah. What's the age bracket on? Sorry, Hobo. What's the age bracket of the kids?
It's usually from primary to secondary to early years. We'll say pretty much from anything from year 4 till year 7, something like that.
Wow.
And it's mixed. They can be mixed.
You know, I mean, I know like the human brain is like a crazy, like complex thing, but you think about like a kid who's like, you know, 6 or 7, like who can have those feelings and like these violent outbursts and all this kind of stuff. It's crazy to think that, isn't it?
And it's at the end of the day, it's a communication of their own survival skills, you know, and how they're gonna, how they see the world and how they interpret the world, and what they are gonna, because whatever they do, it's all about them trying to survive and what they've learned, not trusting adults, and trying to almost you know, keep themselves regulated by, if it's hitting or running away or hiding or whatever it is that they're doing. And it's very interesting, you know. We look at neuroscience as well, and we look at trauma, the upbringing, and
I was going to say, I'm assuming like a very high percentage of these children, a lot of this stems from the parents. Would I be right in saying that?
It's a hard question, that one, to really pinpoint it exactly what it is. But you could say that, you know, it does stem from very early years, you know, from when the mother is pregnant. And even if the mother's pregnant and, you know, the child is already hearing abuse, shouting and drug abuse, alcohol and all that, it's already starting to you know, almost shape those neurons inside our brain to shape,
of course.
into for them to survive in different ways when they're older. And it's almost like, you know, the roots of the trees where, you know, they don't put enough water on it, you know, they almost start diverting and going different paths, you know. And
well, 100%, you know, and like you get children who are born with like who are dependent on drugs because their mum was, you know, was an addict just when the baby was growing. I mean, it's crazy, isn't it, to think that and sometimes you think these children they don't stand a chance, but then there is people like you out there who want to help them, which is amazing.
And then you look at how did that parent get there in the first place? Because shit's happened to them. They've ended up to not just like become dependent. They've had a bad time of it. And then they get pregnant, and then, like you say, the cycle.
It's a cycle.
It's there. It's all there in the video, isn't it?
It's very interesting. It's very interesting, but very deep, you know. And then, like, it stems from somewhere, you know, and it is from early years, really. And there's always a trauma there that, you know, not saying that every child is because, you know, they've had a trauma, because, you know, some children don't. You know, I was and what they used to say back in the day, I was a naughty kid when I was a kid, you know, but I also had my, you know, insecurities and issues and here and there. But it's when it's that deep and that profound, I think it stems from some sort of trauma. That I could say that. Yeah.
Wowza. We went deep.
There's no doubt about it. Jeremy's he's a pretty real character. What you're reading is the real deal.
So let's go from like deep to like stupid. Okay. Ask the question.
Okay.
We like this question. Everyone gets asked this one.
We always ask this question because it's really goofy and we got to do it. But you've only got one song to send into space for anyone to potentially hear on any planet and in the universe. It could be any genre, any song you want, even one of your own songs, whatever. But you've only got one choice. Go.
What is it and why?
Oof, that's a hard one, man? To be honest, it's a really hard one for me. That because it depends on.
It would be depending on your mood, wouldn't it? That's a lot of people say.
Yeah, probably Hotel California.
Oh, cool. No
one's ever said that.
Yes, awesome. I mean, it's an epically long, brilliant song, isn't it?
Yeah, if I'm traveling that long, I probably want something that makes me, you know, keep the darkness because of the lyrics and the kind of melody, but at the same time make me smile a bit so I can ride that motherfucker up into space.
And when that song runs out, you could just press play again and go again.
Go again. Yeah.
No, I think if they found that song out there, I think they'd be pleasantly surprised.
See, for me, you're only allowed to like the Eagles or Creedence, and I'm a big Creedence fan. So
why not, man? I love Creedence.
He likes both.
Is that really
legal?
Yeah, but so does Georgie. She likes both.
True. That's true.
She likes both.
Well, a good choice. Good choice, man. I like that.
Thank you.
I like the way he didn't muck around. It's obviously one of his favourite songs of all time. He was there.
What's your favourite album of all time?
He's going for it now. Look, he's just going to outright quiz. He's just going to quiz you now.
Yeah, probably I would have to say Slipknot AWA.
Cool. Oh. It's a great album, isn't it?
Yeah, it has everything that I expect from a metal band to have. That it's got the melody, it's got the grooves, it's got the heaviness, it's got the fast. It's just raw power.
The spit, isn't it?
It's just grime. It's just
for me, it was a massive step up. I love the debut, but it was like a massive step up, and it was just insane, that album. Yeah, Christ, it's just another level. Now they've got like a lot of money behind them, and it's like Jesus Christ, it really showed, didn't it?
It's great. Yeah, it's absolutely. I mean, the songs, everything, the structure, the lyrics, the riffs, the hooks, the melodies. It's just outstandanding. Sorry, but it is. It's just a masterpiece.
No, I totally agree with you. But like, because it's so old now, like sometimes I've thought, I'll listen to Slipknot, and I might not have listened to that album for like a year or something, and I put it on. It's like putting on a pair of slippers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I did listen to that album this year at some point. I think that was did Joey die this year? Was it? No,
that's quite a few years ago.
No, there was a load of tribute. No, there was a load of tributes about him actually. Yeah, anniversary of his death, unfortunately.
Fuck me, what drummer he was.
And that's what made me listen to it.
My God,
it's insane, wasn't it?
Yeah, insane. He was just ridiculous. He was just another level, man.
Yeah.
I mean, that album. Each time I play it, no matter how I play it, when I play it, just blows the life away from me. Like Jesus Christ, man.
I'm going to listen to it tomorrow.
Yeah, go on,
been lucky enough to see Slipknot quite a few times.
Yeah.
The download. Yeah. We saw him headline Sonosphere when that festival was around. Yeah, the download headline. Yeah, like 3 or 4 times.
I got dragged into a pit by accident. Nearly died. It was horrific. But I'll tell you what it was. Over on the second stage over there was Zach Wild, Black Label Society.
Fuck, your mic's gone loud.
I really wanted to see Black Label Society, so I stopped, and I was like, "You've either got to walk all the way around the back to get to the second stage, or just walk straight through the crowd." So I started walking through the crowd as Slipknot came on, and it just fucking went mental. I got dragged into it, and honestly, I thought I was going to die.
Shit. That's insane.
Do you remember that time I rolled my ankle at Sonosphere?
Yeah, don't tell him who you were listening to, eh?
I was in the Limp Bizkit mosh pit at
Oh, why not?
At Sonosphere, so I love them. And I played like Sunday league football for like 20 years, and I like rolled my ankles a few times, and I have like ankle supports on my when I play. There's just like socks with like little metal spines in them, and it wraps it round. Yeah. You can't roll your ankle. I didn't have them at the festival, Sonosphere. I was just drinking. Oh, I'm going in the mosh pit, drunk, like Limp Bizkit. My fucking ankle rolled literally to 90 degrees.
Oh,
he's at the side watching. A few other pals we have, all like just sort of watching on the side, and they just literally see me on my hands and knees crawling out of the mosh pit. And I felt, you got to help me up. They helped me up and just like carried me over to the burger van, didn't you? Done for, absolutely done for.
Oh my god, that sounds like horrific,
a fucking
man.
Like an egg.
He don't have a good track record with festivals. When Metallica played, his missus had to take him back to the tent and put him to bed because he was so fucked.
I've done too many Jaeger bombs.
Yeah, and he made it for about 4 songs.
Amazing, man. That's the way it should be in a festival. Destroy yourself quick.
Well, yeah. I suppose when they're a few days in. I mean, I'm really looking forward to Download next year, but I'm thinking, fucking hell, I'm going to be 45, man. How am I going to cope with 4 days? You know, I'd be dead by the end of 3 days usually.
Yeah.
No, fucking 4 days? No way, mate. I'd have to turn up on the Friday morning. Like, no way. Like 3 days at that Hard Rock Hell nearly killed me. Honestly. It's like,
when you're sleeping on the fucking floor in a tent as well, man, and you wake up every day, you're like, oh, my back's fucked.
Yeah, you're back.
Hard Rock Hell, we had a fucking caravan. I was still fucked.
Oh, yeah.
Jeez. Yeah, we put it this way. Yeah, by the end of it, we completely destroyed a lot of the times. Not every single one. It really depends what we're doing the next day. If we're staying on the festival, that is it. It's hell. It's literally, we're talking to the Egyptian gods and all sorts, man. Like, we go to a different dimension if we have to.
Oh, mate. I was saying, when we played that Bloodstock in 2003, like the backstage, we walked into like the backstage area. There was just like 6 or 7 bottles of Jägermeister on every table. And I was like, have we got to pay for these? And someone was like, no, just drink whatever you want. And we were like, what? And I wasn't driving back then. So I was like, fucking A. And honestly, that stuff can fuck you up, right? I mean, that stuff is evil. I just started drinking it like it was pints of beer. Well,
it tastes too good, man. The Jaeger, honestly, just tastes a bit like pop syrup.
That show, that after show party, I can't remember much of it.
I bet.
I remember shaking hands with the guy from Saxon. And that was about it.
I went backstage to Download when A and Stamping Ground and that played. They got us backstage.
Oh, killer. Stamping Ground.
Yeah, that was back in the day. That was, well, I don't know when that was, what year that was. Stamping Ground played the main stage, and we was backstage, and not fucking on the stage, AA Platinum and all that, but in the backstage area that we got absolutely destroyed back there.
Amazing. That's amazing. And talking about Stamping Ground, our producer is the guitarist of Stamping Ground.
Oh, cool.
Scott Atkins.
Cool. Yeah, of course. Yeah. We know
because we're in Southend. That's where Adam and that are from, the singer. Nah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I know Adam. He's such a great guy. But they all are. I mean, Scott is a good friend of mine, and but Adam as well. Yeah, wicked, man. Send my love to him if you see him.
Oh, we will. Yeah,
I saw him this year actually. A little hardcore show down in Southend.
Really? Tell him if you see him. I want to put a show with his new band. Apparently, he's got a new band.
Yeah,
on Red Method.
Has he?
Yeah, they're on Spotify, man. I can't remember what they're called. But
tell me this. I did not know that.
They're worth listening to. They're pretty brutal.
Yeah, my mate sent me something the other day, and I was like, yes. But I think he's gone off from Facebook and all that social media stuff. So I can't really find him.
We'll tell him to contact you, man. He must have your number, right?
Well, we need to get Adam on here, don't we? We need to get Adam on.
You got my email too, man. So tell him I want to speak to him.
100%, mate. 100%.
All right, Jeremy, we'll let you go. Yeah, it's been absolutely brilliant talking to you. thanks so much for coming on.
Amazing, man.
We'll see you at a gig soon.
Yeah, let's hope let's get a day ticket to that. Bloodstock.
Come back to Southend, playing Southend again. We'll play with you again.
Yeah, definitely, man. We're gonna do. I think the guy from Beyond Extinction.
Yeah.
Casper. He wants to do something with us. He wants to put us there. So.
Oh yeah, they're brutal, aren't they? Beyond Extinction.
Yeah.
I watched them as well. I saw everyone that day.
They're getting some good gigs at the moment.
Yeah.
So
the first time we played with them was like their first show, I think, and they were just like they were like terrified kids, and then like all of a sudden they've got like this massive presence going on. It's like fucking hell, where did that come from? But they're such lovely guys, you know.
Yeah, they're good guys. Yeah, I like them. They come to our shows and stuff. But yeah, we'll do something, man. 100% in Southend. I love that show, so we're gonna do it again. 100%.
Cool.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, we'll do
something.
Right,
brothers.
Yes.
Safe. It's been a pleasure talking to you both, man.
Andrew, man.
Thanks so much, Jeremy.
Take care.
Love you, man.
Yeah.
Speak to you soon, pal. Cheers.
Yeah. Safe.